Lobster Magnet. Lobster's a 10, I told you grab it.
Hey, welcome to Lobster Magnets, the review, the channel. I'm here with my buddy Goro.
Yes, I'm
and Zavul, Disco Zavul, who is still in Salem mode.
Yeah.
So we're making up for the fact that we didn't review, because I was out for New York Comic Con trying to make super awesome connections. So we're doing a double chapter review, and this is probably going to be a short review because not much happened. So guys, what do you think of, Rufio's steampunk weapon collection?
Okay. I'm really unhappy that I can't curse right now. I really, really want to. This chapter has been just infuriating. He has all these guns. All these guns. Why didn't he shoot anyone? Just shoot one of the children. Just one of them. Maybe 2 or 3.
He was holding
preferably like 5. I would be happy with 5. You have an entire arsenal, and you threaten them with a hunting knife? Are you serious?
in the beginning, he almost he grazed Emma with the pistol shot.
You let a small child duct tape you to a table. and when you got free, you didn't think maybe you should go get one of the I don't know, they look like kind of jury-rigged steampunk. Is that a laser cannon? Is that just like a terrible one-piece flintlock? I don't know. Who knows? Who cares? The entire point is it throws death from more than 5 feet away.
Yeah, if he really wanted to kill those children, he probably and he had the means to do it. But I guess you could argue that he never really wanted to kill them. He just wanted to get them around because he's a giant scaredy cat or something, and he doesn't really want blood. He's basically a male tsundere, where it's not like I like you or anything.
Yeah. It's not like I like you or anything, but I'm still going to share the arsenal of instantaneous murder with you. What? Why doesn't he carry them around? At least 1 or 2. Apparently he's afraid of poachers and demons and all of this other stuff. And you carry a knife? What is this?
Yeah, he carries a pistol too. He had a pistol on him.
Well, why would you have a pistol when you have a pistol that is 4 barrels? And it's why do you have the most boring weapon when you have this treasure trove of steampunk weaponry?
Yeah. The thing is, why would he be? I mean, he's already in the bunker, right? He doesn't need the guns always on his person. He has the storehouse.
Afraid of poachers. There is apparently just stuff scrawled all over the walls of poachers, poachers. If you have that much of a problem, why wouldn't you just have this world's equivalent of an assault rifle over your shoulder at all time, just in case something happened to wander in, I don't know, a giant demon giraffe that eats people.
Yeah, I'm kind of wondering how the demons don't really seem like they have much except for a giant sword, and so how are the demons gonna hold up against the steampunk arsenal?
I don't know. Maybe they have the really resilient skin.
Although the interesting thing though is that if there was ever a point to give these kids superpowers, this was it, and it seems like they're not going to get any.
Well, I don't know. We don't know what these weapons can do. They might be Gantz level murder weapons. So there is still that chance. I'm still a little disappointed that now they have the equivalent of just tons and tons of firepower. And I don't know. I mean, what have we seen demons use? Just knives, swords.
That's it.
Spears.
A knife and a sword, and they have big scary claws.
And flowers that drain blood.
That's not really a weapon.
Okay. Again, I don't. This doesn't really do it for me. This is basically the equivalent of giving them superpowers. It's basically like landing a ship on some remote island, and the entire inhabitants of this island have spears and shields and all this other stuff, and you walk up and so I have this gun, and I'm just going to kill all of you. It kind of makes me wonder why there isn't more of a resistance when apparently he has an entire arsenal.
Yeah, God, Rufio is like one of those characters I like really want to like, but he's given me like no reason to like him. He's like not very competent. I like the idea behind him, but like being a tsundere, man, is not very compelling.
Yeah.
And like all those like nicknames, all those
not just tsundere, but like not explaining anything.
Yeah, that's also frustrating. And the fact that like
like
he
explaining why he's tsundere or telling his name, like that is just like way beyond tsundere. I think there's just like it's like asshole tsundere.
Yeah. He's like a jerk, but he's not like the good kind of jerk that we can like get behind.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, this isn't really doing it for me. I guess unless we like show up, a bunch of demons show up, and they kind of explain why this entire arsenal doesn't mean nearly as much as we think it does, or something like that.
So, I guess I want to point out like one of the positive things about these last two chapters. There was this thing. It felt almost reminiscent of like some of the early chapters where they're explaining like why they should pick up certain weaponry, why not. Like I like that reasoning.
So you like the whole aspect of like, oh, Emma can't have a bazooka because she can't run around with it, and she needs to concentrate on ammo
and mobility. They explained, because they had that talk with what's his name, the demon, the friendly vegan demon. About why they have to be, mobile. Like, when you see a demon, run. That's the best thing you can do. So, it sounds like Emma doesn't want to attract too much attention. She's trying to avoid a fight. Ray, he has a kind of similar attitude, but he feels like he needs the weapon just in case, like, things go really, really sour.
Well, it's too bad that Emma didn't get like a more signature weapon. She's still going Katniss Everdeen. Hope she gets like explosive tipped arrows or something.
Oh, there's another thing too I noticed. Like, how come Ray still has his ear? Like after the bandages moved.
Well, they didn't like lob off the whole ear. They just like took a chunk off of it, right?
I thought so.
But it looked like Emma. I thought they both lobbed off their ears when they escaped from
I thought that they didn't do it for Ray because, or did they cut it off Ray's ear? Like, I'd have to go back and if I was to guess, because I feel like there are times where we've seen Emma and she had like both ears. And that was just an art error because of the fact that like this is a weekly manga and it has to be turned out. And sometimes errors like that are fixed
or like
up
the bandage that's on the wrong ear.
Yeah. I feel like those kind of errors, they usually like fix them in the volume chapters once those are published and they have a little bit more time. But for the weekly, sometimes continuity issues like that are like,
I don't even know if they can even fix those in volume chapters. Like, there's just too much redrawing to even go back to bother and doing.
Hey man, My Hero Academia and Hunter x Hunter have both published unfinished pages, and then they go back and fix those for the volume thing. So I don't think it's entirely impossible.
I mean, that's different. That's like when the art was like
terrible.
Like when you're talking about the Hunter x Hunter guy, he had like a really scraggly art like period in his life. That was just like child drawing on crayon.
It was amazing.
Crayon colored book.
What he got away with. How he is just like such a golden child for like Shonen Jump. They're like, okay, Tagashi, at least you got it done this time. Thank you for your hard work.
And that goes to show just how good Hunter x Hunter is, even after having that shitty art period.
I also have to wonder if like at a certain point you use like I don't know what are his health problems.
Whose health problem? Oh,
Togashi?
Yeah.
Hard to say. I just think it's like overworked. Supposedly, I read somewhere he doesn't use insistence, so he likes to do it all himself. So that like that stress and the amount of work he imposes upon himself and the lack of free time just sort of he's not a beast like Oda who can like 2 hours of sleep makes me draw better manga.
No, that's nuts.
I don't know. I'm just sitting there going, but still. I mean, why not be like the Hellsing guy where you just take prolonged breaks to do unspeakable things with pictures of other people's characters.
Well, he kind of does do that because he's like Cthulhu. He like rises every year and a half to draw enough chapters to like have a new volume published, and then he goes to sleep for another year and a half. That's his schedule. That's how he operates.
You're talking about this Helsing guy?
No, the Hunter x Hunter guy.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what the Helsing guy is. I don't know how he gets it away. I don't know how Drifters is going to get a season 2 when the stupid story arc isn't finished and there hasn't been a chapter in like 6 months.
Uh-huh.
But anyway, back to the Promised Neverland. So, at least they're out of the thing.
And they're going to get away from the children at some point after the next chapter, I believe.
Well, they say their final goodbyes, so they're going to be out in the wilderness, finally.
Was that the final goodbyes?
Yeah, it was the final goodbye at the end. So we're finally rid of the children. And maybe the series can get better.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. Because getting rid of Don, Gilda, and all the other obnoxious children... Although, please, for the love of God, Rufio, do something to make me like you. I want to like you. I really want to like you, but you're not doing yourself any favors here. You had an interesting introduction, and you're just kind of like...
I think he's supposed to be, like, unlikable, but, like, you want him to be a likable, unlikable character.
Yeah. I want him to be, like, likable, unlikable. You can still be, like, little Mr. Edgelord, immature edgelord, but, like...
Yeah.
You do something smart.
Oh, once they go out into like the wilderness, I wonder if that's gonna happen. If that's, he's gonna have like a redeeming moment.
Well, it's interesting. Like if you look at like what Oda was able to do with Capone Bege, that was like he didn't sacrifice any of his sort of like mafioso appeal, and he was completely pragmatic in it. And like throughout that whole arc, it just made me love him more, even though I thought he was like the most worthless supernova for the longest time.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, that was completely amazing. The fact that like the most generic, worthless, stupid-looking supernova not only becomes a badass, but he's like a, tactical mind, and he's like this, great pragmatist, and he's like still incredibly loyal to his crew, which like makes him more endearing.
Yeah, I fucking love Beige now, and I never expected to. I kind of want to see his ship though, and I just have this deep desire that it be like Mihawk's ship, where it's just one guy on the ground.
It's just this guy.
It's just him on a rowboat. Just like maybe a really fancy decadent rowboat where he has his like his own personal needs, but he has like everything else like stored inside of him.
Yeah. That does make sense. I could see him in a rowboat, and he's just like sleeping half the time, or he has like people manning his arms to like row the rowboat or something.
Yeah.
That would be hilarious, actually.
Yeah, I would love to see that. So I don't know if Rufio, and that's my name. I'm gonna keep calling him Rufio until we get an official name.
All right. So what are we rating this thing?
Give it a like 6, maybe.
Greg, you were the Goro. You were the one who liked this.
They're really stretching out this like goodbye. That they gotta go out into the wilderness already and just get rid of these kids and start to do something. Like, oh man, this manga used to be so good.
Yeah,
so good.
I'm gonna give this a 5.
Oh my god!
For both of them combined, that's fair. I'm gonna leave.
Yeah, I'm giving this a 5. My interest in this series is hanging by a thread at this point.
This series is so lucky it had a great start.
It's funny though, like objectively. I wouldn't say like there's been any like really stupid things like stuff you'd see in Bleach, but it's like the death of it's like being bludgeoned to death by like like a foam bat of just like uninteresting stuff.
Yeah, it's kind of just killing me with minutia.
Of just
and like an overload of characters I don't care about. There's nothing overly terrible. It's just I'm having
And
trouble maintaining interest.
there doesn't feel like there's any like stakes yet. Like none of the children have like suffered any like injuries, like going through like the forest of demon death and like hanging out with like vegan demon dude. Like all of them like ended up fine in this perfectly safe shelter with Rufio, who's supposed to be like this crazy dangerous menace, and they managed to like handle him like flarping like Home Alone kids.
Flarping.
Yeah.
Are we still using that?
Yes, we are.
I mean, until I come up with a better curse word. But just like there, it doesn't feel like anything is at risk right now. It just feels like this used to be such like a a high stakes show. Like kids are gonna get sent off to be eaten by demons.
Yeah.
Like that felt like a real threat. Now there doesn't feel like any threats anymore.
Yeah, we definitely need to like things to get kicked up a notch. I'm gonna go with Goro. Yeah, these 2 chapters are definitely both 6s. Please save yourself, Promised Neverland. You are the chosen one. Become the chosen one again, as opposed to like, getting bogged down in this really uninteresting, boring minutia that is just like killing our ability to like be like Promised Neverland advocates.
I'm also kind of curious. I'm also kind of curious, like how other people are reviewing this series. Like, I wonder if they're going like, like what they do in the Red Letter Media guys. They like. They parodied those Marvel review guys.
No one's doing that. I've yet
this chapter of Promised Neverland was very cool. Very, very cool. I'm digging this all the way. Oh, when they showed the guns, oh my god, my head exploded. I thought that was so cool. Very cool.
That'd be great if we did like an April Fool's joke where if April Fool's falls on like the weekend of like we record these things, it's like we just give like really pedantic fanboy boring reviews for everything. Very cool. Very cool.
You think we would get in trouble of reviewing someone else's review of Well, I would love to make fun of like one of those, like a live reaction video of someone else's.
I don't know. Maybe we should we have to pick somebody like big enough that they could take it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't feel right to like pick on like smaller people who are just as schlubby as us.
Of course
not.
not.
No.
That had to be like big reviewers. Or
I don't know. Maybe go after Chibi Otaku guy or Forever in World.
Yeah.
Very good. I would love to do like the anime otaku nerdy version of like. Have you ever watched Red Letter Media's Nerd Crew, Zavel?
No.
I don't know if it'll be as sharp for you, but if maybe the best thing is if you like type in Red Letter Media versus Collider versus Screen Junkies, where they basically kind of like make fun of these like sort of informal nerd podcast news things.
Gotcha.
It's like basically watching like a bunch of nerd jocks or jocks trying to be nerds,
and they're just sort of like. Very cool, very cool. Oh my god, latest Star Wars trailer.
Yeah.
It's like the most, like the Red Letter Media is the most biting criticism of that sort of like little mini genre ever. It's just like, here's our loot box. Oh my god, now we're sponsored by Nerd Coffin, so you can have Star Wars 20 streamed in front of your dead corpse.
Yeah. They're all always upbeat and positive about like any trailer they see for anything. Don't have anything critical to say about anything.
They had this like great scene where they're like doing a review of like this obviously fan made trailer of the new Star Wars, and they're like doing their fake reaction, even though one of them's like, guys, I don't think this is the right. Oh my god,
Ray lightsaber, Ray.
It's Kylo Ren.
Kylo Ren.
But yeah, I'd recommend either seeing the original Nerd Crew or like the videos where they like splice them together with like the things they're parodying.
Yeah.
So anyway, let's chill steampunk guns. I'm gonna find some steampunk guns, And
Oh,
I'm gonna put
very
him there.
cool.
Very cool.
Yeah. Okay. Very so cool. I mean, I love it. I'm hoping to get one in my loot crate.
Oh god, yeah, me too. I really love Loot Crate.
And
actually,
I
too.
love anime and manga. Garuga Mesh.
Garugamesh.
I'm surprised you weren't like an easier sell for like the steampunk stuff though, Scott. Don't you like steampunk?
I do, but there's a very specific line for me. Like, okay, let me try and explain here.
Yes.
There's an old is it Leviathan Chronicles? Damn it, what is it? I used to know this.
Well, just tell us what it's about. Just give us a synopsis.
There's a book series where it's the Leviathan trilogy, where it's like a kind of young adult thing, so you kind of have to expect what's going on, but it's steampunky, and more importantly, the entire thing takes place in like a retrofitted kind of reimagined 1900s area. So it's a retelling of the First World War, including like historical figures and everything else, but with steampunky style stuff like mechs and everything else. So it's kind of got that kind of flavor going on.
Why does that sound familiar?
Where they feel like it feels like they've done their research, and there's entertainment to be had out of that. I guess like the different what is the difference? Damn it! What the hell is it? I'm making an idiot of myself. The difference engine. There's an old is it Harry Turtledove? Fuck me. I don't have any of my books.
Flubber!
What's the
okay.
what's
Point being,
Okay, so go on.
there's an old book, also kind of steampunky, about what would have happened if the difference engine, which was like this analog mechanical calculator, had been built, and it was basically like it was never really built, I don't think, but the novel was basically about what would have happened if they actually constructed this thing, and what if like that kind of like age of computers and automated computation had come like a century earlier.
So you like his steampunk as more of like an alternate history versus like, because like I guess the reason why I like kind of like groan when I see steampunky things is that like it feels like people are trying to force this aesthetic on trying to make it out of something when there really hasn't been like, I don't know, like how The Matrix and Blade Runner made cyberpunk cool, or like that, like that sort of next level thing to legitimize steampunk outside of like the Wild Wild West spider.
Yeah. So, I like it to have a certain measure of like weight to it when it's being done. It's just like showing up with a fucking, god damn it, with a top hat and like a ray pistol or something. It's like, okay, sure, fine. I get it. You didn't want to do you didn't want to do a cosplay of an anime character, but you still wanted to dress up. That's fine. I don't care. But it doesn't really do much for me unless there's some kind of reason behind it, or maybe some kind of thought experiment to play.
Why did we go into talking about
Because
steampunk again?
Because the weapons all look very steampunky.
Okay, yeah. I thought they looked like kind of post-apocalyptic.
No, they to me look very steampunky. They had like a lot of like tubes and gadgets and gizmos and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
If you go to the armory, they can kind of appear like steampunky.
It kind of looks like weaponry you would see in like something like BioShock or Fallout.
Well,
honestly.
BioShock has like a pretty big steampunky aesthetic to it.
Oh yeah.
I
Like,
guess that's true.
although, would you call it more steampunk or diesel punk?
I guess more diesel punk, but
still,
yeah.
like
Diesel punk is
there
like Mad Max, right?
Diesel punk is like sci-fi from like the 1940s era.
Okay.
So like you still have like the diesel engines instead of like the coal-powered steam stuff. But still, point being, they're very similar, but the idea behind it is like BioShock still had that question driving it of, well, what happens if you actually do try to create that libertarian paradise? What does that look like? And despite the fact that you're shooting everything that you run into, and this game is really just crammed full of violence and action, there is still that deeper question driving the entire thing. If you just show up to a convention crammed full of like gears glued onto your clothing, like, well, I want to know why. You know, like, are you cosplaying something? Is there a deeper thought to this other than, man, I really like gears?
I don't know. I actually don't know how we got into this trail of conversation.
Well, because I think it's a really interesting conversation because of all these steampunk weapons, and it's an interesting thing because, like, hypothetically, you know, if the Promised Neverland gives us a reason why we have all this steampunk technology, then it could make the series better and give us a new aesthetic to lie on and give the series new iconography.
Yeah, like, if they came from the outside world, I don't understand why they look all steampunky and retrofitted and everything when Ray got a 3DS.
Yeah.
So
and they have the William Minerva pen.
So are you saying these weapons were made by like other
I
humans
have no idea.
outside the farms?
That's kind of what I want to know. Is there a reason for it? And if there isn't, I'm gonna be pissed about it. But if there is, you know, I'm really curious to know.
It better be a reason. It better be as justifiable as like Jinbei finding the green room, right? Because
exactly.
Yeah. Because you could say that, you know, Jinbei finding the green room is a butt pull, a dumb butt pull of a storytelling decision, but it feels justified and earned because of everything that's been established before about fishmen and Jinbei being a helmsman and the fact that this is actual real surfer lingo / seafaring terms.
And Jinbei looks like he's from Hawaii, so, you know, they're all about surfing in Hawaii.
I don't think he looks like he's from Hawaii. He's wearing a... Isn't that a kimono?
I think so. I think Greg means that he's like wide, and he's like assuming that people, you know, that's...
He looks like a sumo wrestler.
There's some sumo wrestlers from Hawaii.
Yeah,
it's a tenuous connection, but like, you know.
Either way,
I don't know. He kind of reminds me of like some kind of like Hawaiian dude. Sometimes I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, I can't remember. Did we rate this?
Yeah, we did. You gave it like a 5. We both gave it 6.
Yeah.
So we're good. We're gonna have some steampunk. I'm gonna find a steampunk gun. Go buy a steampunk gun because it's very cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
So cool, you guys. So cool.
So cool. I'm putting it right next to my anime figurines with my anime box and my Loot Crate box, which this is Guardians of the Galaxy, which is still very cool.
Don't get anything with Loot Crate. It's garbage.
All right, thank you for hanging out with us for this delayed Promised Neverland chapter review. Send us comments. Give me tasty, juicy comments. They make me happy in this dark era of the Google adpocalypse, which makes me sad. And remember, lobsters and tennis, but don't you grab it.
Maggots made of fire, lobsters made of meat.